As many of you will know, this is the BCG BMW E30. And this is the video that I didn't really want to make, but I think I have to. I think the time has now finally come to probably part ways with the beloved BCG BMW E30 and time for it to find a new owner. Yep, it's up for sale. And I'll give you all the details right after this.
A brown car guy. Brown car guy.
So I've had this car for about 2.5 years, and everything that's happened to it, how I got it, all of that is fully documented on obviously browncarguy.com. There's a blog on there, and there's also a vlog on the YouTube channel as well. A full playlist of all the videos on this car from day one when I first picked it up at an auction at the NEC way back. Classic Car Auctions is where I got it from. So everything that's happened to it is also covered in the car. The car at the moment, there's nothing wrong with it. I've just had it serviced a couple of months back, and earlier this year I had the fuel lines, the brake lines, and the steering rack completely changed. Whilst I've had the car, we had an issue with the wheel hub on that side, on the passenger side, and the wheel hub had to be replaced, and it also damaged the wheel on that side, and that had to be replaced as well. So that was all new. And other than that, the odometer, the mileometer, that stopped working about 2 years ago, and I had that fixed as well. Other than that, and the cam belt was changed when I first got it. In the first service that I did, I had the cam belt changed as well. So other than that, it's been absolutely faultless. It's such a joy to drive. It is absolutely brilliant fun every time. People that watch my stuff know every time I take it out, it just puts a massive grin on my face. It's just such a joy to drive, so much fun to drive, so visceral, so exciting, so engaging, but at the same time thoroughly modern. Now, the reason I got this car was basically to prove that you could use a modern classic as a daily driver. And with an 80s classic you can, because everything in this car is pretty much familiar to cars today, obviously without the technical screens, and it's not automatic, it's a manual, etc. It's got manual handbrake, but pretty much it's there. You know, everything works, everything does exactly what you need it to do. And on this car, everything does work. You know, all the buttons, you know, even the trip computer on it actually works. And yes, it did have a trip computer way back then. So the idea was to prove that you could use it as a daily. And in fact, I was using it as a daily prior to ULEZ, the ULEZ expansion, I should say, which happened at the end of August in 2023 last year. I was using it 4 to 5 times a week, so pretty much as a daily car. After that came in, obviously it's on auto pay, but every time I take it out, like today, it will charge me £12.50. And that racks up pretty quickly. So understandably, I've reduced my use of the car significantly. And now instead of 4 or 5 times a week, which is what I was doing, I'm probably doing about 4 or 5 times a month. So it's not really getting the sort of use that I really wanted to get out of it, even though it is such a joy to take out. This car has got a full service history. I'll show you that in a minute. The only options on this car, so the great thing about this car, what makes us, I guess this E30 unique to a lot of other E30s that are out there, is that it's completely unmolested, unmodified. It is as it came out of the dealership. It is a 1989 BMW 325i SE. It was resprayed, I think about 6-7 years ago in Germany. It has a full history with it. The only options on this car which it came out from the dealer with were the BBS alloy wheels, the black leather upholstery, and the M Sport steering wheel. Other than that, it's like every SE that came out at the time, and I should know because I actually had one in the late 90s. I also had a 325i SE, so it had the same straight six, same engine, same as this. It was also a manual, same trip computer, all the rest of it, but my car didn't have the wheels, didn't have the leather upholstery, and had a different steering wheel. So that was the only option in this car. And as you'll see, the original sheet is there from when it was first sold, and it actually says, it specifies these things on the sheet as well. So the car, other than that, drives extremely well. It's perfect. There's no issues with it. The only thing I will say is that recently it picked up a nasty, nasty chip on the bonnet, so that needs to be addressed. And annoyingly, very annoyingly, the odometer has stopped working again. Don't know why. 2 years on, the repair was out of warranty and it stopped working again. But as people are watching those two things, actually I haven't updated recently. I haven't put that into a recent video, but that's the latest updates. That's the most recent things that have happened to it. But the regular viewers who follow this car will know that there is a major issue with the car. And the major issue is right under here, and I'll show you that. So, when I said that the major issue is under here, your first thought was probably, oh my God, the engine. No, the engine is fine, everything is fine, it's super, super sweet, it's brilliant. The major issue that we have with the car is rust on the bulkhead. There's no other rust issue on the car at all, the car is absolutely fine. But see these entrances here, these vents here, this vent, and there's one on that side and one on this side. Basically the rain goes in here and there's an outlet that's just here in the bulkhead. So basically it goes in through there and it comes out through this outlet down there. Now, what unknown to me, that must have been blocked for years. In fact, it was blocked with leaves and pebbles and all kinds of gunge and crap. And so what was happening was that water had basically accumulated in there and it's basically rusted that panel out. So there's like a hole now in the bulkhead. It's not a big hole, as you can see, it's small, and it's fully, and I've got in the previous video, you'll see that the experts up at the project shop gave a full explanation of it because they'd looked at it and they'd studied it. The trouble with it is, the job to repair it is actually quite straightforward. It's just a case of cutting it out, fabricating a new panel and welding that in. So that's not actually a problem. The problem is where it is. It's literally behind the engine, which of course means that to do that properly necessitates removal of the engine and probably removal of the dashboard as well. So all of a sudden, that actually quite simple little job has become quite a major job and a very expensive job. Okay, just gonna open the sunroof as well, because that works too. Everything works, honestly. The only thing that doesn't work is the cassette player itself. The radio works, everything works, but the cassette player itself doesn't actually play the tapes, but that's the only thing. And I was thinking of getting it fixed. You'll have seen that in an earlier. I did try, using head cleaner and stuff like that, but I think it's the actual, I think the head itself is either gone, because I can hear the mechanism whirring, but I think the head itself is gone. But as you can see, everything else is great. I mean, up here, I'll show you in a minute, all the buttons, the lights and everything, the trip computer. I'll show you that in a minute. But what I wanted to show you, because what I wanted to demonstrate was when I said that this thing has, so this is the bag from Classic Car Auctions when I originally got the car, and it's got the spare key is also in here, the spare keys I should say. And in fact, if you can recall, there was 2 spare keys, but if you can recall this one, this key, I remember this when I had the car before. I haven't got a battery in it, but it's got a little torch light there. So you press the button there and a little torch comes on there. I don't know if it works because I haven't put a battery in it. But anyway, that's there. And this is, look at that. That is the thick history of this car. Now this car comes with provenance, at the end of the day, not only obviously it's been covered extensively in my content, but it's been in the Classic Car Weekly, it's been covered in there, it's been in a national newspaper, it's been on TV twice, it's been on Classic Car Garage on the Yesterday channel, and where we fixed this switch here, this electric switch here, it just the contacts needed cleaning, so we did that. And it's also been on Al Jazeera, it's been featured in there as well. And of course, when I've taken it to shows, you will have seen me out and about in the car, you will have seen it at shows. I even took it up Shelsley Walsh hill climb, where I was a little bit anxious about doing it, but actually it did really, really well. And again, the full video for that is also on here. And in terms of this, so right down to the original auction, that was the original auction number. There's the documentation, 5 former keepers on the car, original brochures from 1988 of the car are there. The original, like I said, the original sheet from the dealer with the spec on what it was and how much it sold for and stuff like that. That's all there. All of the history, everything that's been done to the car. Incredible. Every single aspect of it is covered in here, including all the stuff that I've had done in it, project shop work and other work, and most recently was serviced at Classic Custom, my friends over in West London, and that service was done in August, and it's got an MOT I think until February. February next year, February 2025. So that's all there as well. So it's all documented, all up to date, all covered in everything. And like I said, I mean, there's no hiding anything with this car, because obviously, you know, I've covered every aspect of the car from day one. But it is stunning. Let me just show you this inside. So there you go. You saw the lights all came on. Everything works there. Revs. Fuel, like I said, the odometer, that's frozen at about 129, 164. Call it about, I'd say it's just over 130. Over here you had the service interval dials. They still light up, they still work. In fact, I just had that reset when I had it serviced recently, so that's just been reset with the latest service. There's the steering wheel, there's the lights over there. Electric mirror, electric rear view mirror, so yeah, you can even do that. Let me see, actually this one. So that they work, both of them work. Everything on here works. The trip computer actually works. Check it out. Consumption, I mean, I wouldn't trust it. Although 23.2, I think I probably get about 25, 26 best out of this. So that's about right. Even shows you the range. Temperature outside is in Fahrenheit. You can change it. The stereo works, like I said, except for the cassette player. And I wanted to keep the original because BMW Bavaria, because a lot of people said swap it out with a newer one, which you can do. But I just use this. So I put that into here, into that bit there, and then basically that Bluetooths to my phone and picks up the FM reference and then transmits that to there, and you play your music through your stereo. There's no AC on this one, but it's got, you know, vents, ventilation and all the rest of it, and it demists and everything. The demister is there, vents are there. The dashboard, obviously there are cracks on this because a lot of these, they have the same problem, and I do use normally a sunscreen when it's sunny to try and avoid any further damage to it. But yeah, that is an inevitable part of this. But having said that, I mean, look at the quality of this. Look at the numbering is absolutely clear. It's like it just came out of the factory. Even here, nothing has faded. Everything is still there. It's exactly, you can clearly see all the instructions. The only thing I would say that is faded is the cigarette lighter cover. That's normally not in there actually, and normally I just put it in the what used to be the ashtray. Button there, these are the lights, the window switches, sorry. Even like, look, the cover here, it's completely clean and original, and you can see that clearly. Handbrake is there. Glove box. In the glove box, it's got the owner's manual is there. So there is the original cards from where it was sold and everything, the dealer, and the owner's book is still there as well. And in fact, talking of books, don't forget that this car, we talked about provenance earlier, this car basically was also the cover star of my first novel, the Ulysses Files. In fact, the main character, funnily enough, drives exactly the same car. Oh, and up here, remember these sort of aircraft style check lights? Such a cool thing in the 80s. You pressed it and you go, yeah, everything is good. We're good to go. Let's rock and roll. Isn't that awesome? Oh, and check this out. I mean, this is the holy grail of E30s. That, does it have a complete original toolkit? And yes, it does. I mean, check this out. I mean, these are worth a fortune just on their own, aren't they? I mean, I just want to... It's just fantastic. I am gonna miss this car so much. I swear, you know, I've driven pretty much everything I've ever wanted to drive, you know, and if this had to be the last car I ever drove, I would not be unhappy. I'd be entirely satisfied. It's just such a brilliant car. Even today, it just blows the socks off so many things. It really does. And you know, really, the problem is, you're thinking, well, why is he getting rid of it? Well, I want to be good to the car. What I need is for this car to go to a home where it'll be cherished, it'll be looked after, and it will be kept standard. It will be kept as it is, you know. But also somebody that will take on that job and get that done properly. And the trouble for me is that because I'm not using the car as much as I was anticipating, I can't justify that expenditure. I just can't. I can't, you know, explain paying that amount of money for a car that only goes out, you know, 3 or 4 times a week. 3 or 4 times a month, I should say, not even a week. And that's the problem. That is what is really killed this for me. Thank you, ULEZ. If the ULEZ hadn't expanded, then maybe it might have been a different story. But right now, it needs to find a home where somebody will get that done, get it done properly, and look after it, cherish it, and keep it as it is. That's what I want to see. How much? Well, obviously, there's got to be something. Don't be ridiculous. Don't be silly. I will let you make that offer to me. Get in touch with me and let me know what you think. If the job is done on this car, these cars are now been going up in value, and we're looking at a car that's worth between 15 to 18,000 pounds. So that's the value of the car, you know, with it all sorted out. So I'll wait to hear from you, and let's hope we can find this beautiful, wonderful car a great home. Well, the video I didn't want to make. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. Shout out time, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, if you enjoy my content, why not get involved? Buy me a coffee. You can do that at either of these links. Or if you're watching on YouTube, buy me a thanks or take out a membership. It all helps. It really does.